What's up, everyone? This video is going to be on the movie Undertone. I saw it on Thursday, and I had a few comments on it. Ultimately, the movie is a 6 out of 10 in my opinion. I thought overall it had a lot of potential. However, a lot of it was squandered. There was a lot of buildup, and it just wasn't fully actioned. So they could have done better. But it was entertaining to watch, and I really enjoyed my time there. But it could have been better. So there will be some spoilers moving forward. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, go watch it if you plan on it, and then come back afterwards. So as I already mentioned, it's a 6 out of 10. Ultimately, quick background of the story: it's about two podcasters, Evie and Justin, and they have a paranormal activity slash events podcast that they essentially do via Zoom or some type of asynchronous meeting application. And essentially, they record these podcasts and then push them out. So Evie is the skeptic on the show. So while Justin seems to be eating all that stuff up as it comes in, seems like he's really interested in the paranormal and more believing of it. Evie is the one that's supposed to provide the scientific background to say, well, this could also cause that, as opposed to just automatically jumping to it's a supernatural event. So the story goes on, and essentially there is a demonic entity that is known as the Taker of Children called Abazu. Yep, Abazu. So ultimately, Justin receives an email with 10 audio files that Evie and Justin listen to, and at the end of listening to all the audio files, it releases Abazu into the world. So the ending is very ambiguous, so you don't know for a fact if Evie dies or if Evie lives, but I think she dies. I mean, it's everything that led up to that point basically kind of points out without explicitly saying she gets killed. Overall, I don't really know what happened to Justin. It wouldn't really make sense for the demonic entity to kill him, but who knows? I'm not the writer of the story. And there was also a lot of build up leading into the final moment. So early on in the movie, you see the camera start panning. So another thing to mention, Evie is recording all of this within her dining room. So there's a stairwell directly in the next room that leads upstairs, and you can also see into the kitchen, which there are two ways to get in. One is through the door that is within the actual stairwell, and the other is to the left of where Evie's sitting. So through the dining room. So the camera pans multiple times from the stairwell out to like where Evie's sitting. And you over time you constantly see the light gradually get better, right? So when you first see it, it's very dark, you can't see anything. Then the next time you see it, there's a little bit more light, so you can kind of see what you're looking at, and then it just progressively gets better lighting as time goes on. But nothing ever happens. And it sits there for a good amount of time, so you would think that the director pointing you to this direction because you're going to see something. Either you're going to see some type of supernatural event, some type of the demonic entity, for instance, something getting moved, something. You don't see any of that. You do see lights getting turned on, water taps getting turned on, uh, objects randomly moving around, specifically next to Evie's mother, who is terminally ill. I don't know what her actual condition is, but it looks like she's in some type of coma. Um, but yeah, overall, I think the movie, at least initially, tries to take you down the road. I guess. I mean, it starts off pretty straightforward. Like we're gonna go over some supernatural stuff, and Evie is a skeptic, so you would think it's trying to throw it in your face, like, okay, this is a legitimate supernatural video. And in some regards, it does it, but then at least initially, it can also be like, okay, uh, maybe she was going crazy. But over time, it is more explicit that it is a supernatural occurrence and a bunch of supernatural stuff happening. But overall, the movie, 6 out of 10. It's not something that I would watch again, but it was definitely a good one-time watch. And I have my notes on the side. I'm gonna get better at this the more I go along, and I fully figure out what's the best way of breaking down these videos and just the notes. But Yeah, there was a lot of build up and there was a lot of potential, but it was all squandered. And I don't think it really delivered what it should have to the viewers. But it's interesting and it's a good one time watch. It's a good concept. And I recommend watching it if you haven't. But in my opinion, it's a one time watch movie. I wouldn't watch it again. Thank you for watching. Until next time.